Hi friends, so I'm just going to do a tour of my taxidermy collection, my fish sort of preservation collection. It's not just got fishes, it's got other things as well. I am aware this jar is quite badly evaporated. All of these were donated and none were killed for to be preserved or anything. They were all died of natural causes, and they're from a variety of sources, mostly the aquarium trade and stuff like that. So the first jar here is, I'm trying to get out the specimens, but it might be easier to do it from above. So you can see this one here, that is Epistogramma cacatoides gold, and then these are some what commonly gets called moon tetra. Well, it's one of the species. They show really bright sort of stained black coloration, and I've dropped this one and it's broken the jaw. Yeah. So these are all preserved in different alcohols. Oh no, sorry, it's preserved in ethanol 70%, and before that it's fixed in formalin. So none of these are in formalin at the moment. I don't like anything in formalin. Doesn't stay in this room because I've obviously got fishes and stuff. They're just because it's a room that gets moved around a lot. I don't like having anything that's too toxic. So in this jar, this is Ancestris L255. You can just about see the spotting, and actually I did originally preserve it with the ranunculus and it was a nightmare to separate, but you can see spotting there, and this is a male. So that's quite an uncommon fish, and I've got quite a lot of uncommon fishes in here. Oh, here's two reptiles. So this is a crested gecko. It's got no tail. And some of these, because I've had them quite a while, it's difficult to remember exactly where they came from. But this is a Yemen, I think. Yeah, it's a Yemen. So this is a juvenile Yemen gecko. Yemen chameleon, sorry. And they're just sitting there. Well, they can't really do much else really. And behind I actually have a statue, so I was given this for giving a talk at the catfish study group, and I just keep it here because it's probably the safest place in the room. Everything else does get moved around quite a lot. So just putting that back there. So let's look at a larger jar. So this is my selection of Balancistris at Zandelis. So here is L81, L81, no, L18, I think. Yeah, that's L18. This is 177. And then I think I have yeah, there's a smaller, I think 81 at the bottom there, but you can see, get some size. It's really difficult in jars. It kind of distorts the view even if you put your hand against it. So going up, we've got a little food dog or Japanese lion, whatever. This is a harlequin lance, and this actually killed itself by envenomation. So like Corydorus, they can release the venom, and this actually came out the dorsal, and you can kind of see the residue at the right lighting. The residue from that envenomation, and that was while it was being acclimatized. It's not the nicest looking specimen other than colour, and it also came out there, so you can kind of see a little blurriness at the pectoral fins as well as the dorsal fin. So this is a harlequin lancer, so it's Bagroides Melipterus. Here is some Balancistris begini. 5 seconds. I've got way too many fishes in this collection, and it really, yeah, I think that is the Balancistris begini, but I swear I had 4. I'll find out. So here's some interesting about Pimlidae. So I've got written down labels, but not all because I forgot. So that's the name. These guys are just really beautiful. I have them in one of my videos, and you can see these beautiful tentacles. Oh, sorry. They're a really silvery blue colour actually when they're alive, and they're quite gorgeous. You can see, I think I've got 4 or 5 in there. Just going to move things along because you can't see everything unless I shove things around. This jar looks like it's not been filled, but it's because I'm trying to save on alcohol a little bit rather than save on jars. And this This must be the macropithalamus jar. Oh no, this is L359. So this one not many people know about. This is Ancistrus L359, as I said. It's a spotted species, looks very similar to macropithalamus in a way, but more like a typical Ancistrus. So if I show, it won't really look any different to the normal sort of Ancistrus. Well, unless you really know. I know they're quite cool. Not many people have them alive. Not many people preserve fish when they're dead. This is Farlowella. I have a feeling I'm going to say Farlowella acus, but I'm not entirely sure. A lot of these are mason jars. They're not the best for preservation, to be honest. Not the biggest fan, but they do the job. I would like apothecary jars. Here's Panacus albivermis. This is, oh blimey, I think this was a female. And I've got a staghorn beetle that I found on the floor. This, oh my god, this is a Corydoras, and I've totally forgotten the name, and that doesn't help. It looks like it's got fungus. This I find a lot of sometimes the slime coat settles a bit funny, and will it focus? There, so you can kind of see, and I think it's an undescribed species. I cannot remember which though. What's in here? These are baby Megalochus thoracata, or hoplocats, and not actually hoplosternum anymore. In with some other fishes. Let me open up from the top. I have preserved quite a bit. That's not really ones I want to keep long term. Oh my god, that better not be fungus. Oh no, it's just dust. It does, you get kind of a lot of sediment with these, and it kind of transfers through. So these would be Megalochus thoracata. These I think were rosy barbs, maybe not. And this was a Daisy's rice fish, I think. It looks like they're covered in fungus, but no, when you preserve things, unless you really filter it, you get a lot of residue that settles. Some are cleaner than others. Depends how much I've poured. This jar, I love these jars. So these are proper expensive Kilner jars, another type of masonry jar. And this has Platystachys cotylophorus in. I'm not sure how many there is, and there's probably at least 1 or 2 males in there, mostly females. Most of these females actually have eggs, but they look really cool, and I think it really suits the jar. This was, so whenever a fish dies, I try and so not all of these, this is not my mortality rate, but these I had particular issues with, and try and work out how. All the females were very bloated and full of eggs, so that you could kind of see it's easy to point with tweezers, there's eggs, massive sacks of eggs either side. So I think they generally struggle with digesting food. I think that's the problem. And then when they have eggs, it causes even more issues of bloat and stuff. And then you get issues like that. So that's everyone on that shelf. This shelf, this is my snake shed that I used to measure how long she is, because you can't straighten out a western hognose. They're a nightmare. So this is just Vaseline I used to usually, well, they're better for apothecary jar stuff that I've used. Not so much for mason jars. This is a Giardini Arawana I've used in a video. These are Discus. Oh my god. Why am I've used their genus name so much and now I've forgotten, but these are Tarzu. Symphysedon tarzus. They're the Peruvian species. I think they both are. I might have. I don't think I preserved any stenkers or any other domestics. These are Soribum cuspicordus, like Soribum lemur, but they get big and have this very large extension to the caudal fin. What else? So, this is a sterlet. Don't ask me to remember the scientific name of sterlets. This is an albino sterlet. It was quite mummified. I think when I collected it, it wasn't in the greatest condition, but it kind of looks better in a jar. I do prefer, like, some fishes look really good mummified, others don't. This is a rainbow boa. Is it Brazilian rainbow boa? Might be. But it looks really large and long in this jar, but it's not that big. So this is a baby. These are Ancestris macropithalamus. There's quite a few in here, and actually one of these specimens I actually CT scanned, and I won't show the photo. I don't think they'd be interesting to view on YouTube. You can see the staining. This staining isn't due to the bad quality of their alcohol. This is just generally due to it's due to the fact that, what am I getting down to? That the gut contents really leaks out in my old traditional methods. Well, now I inject them for hypodermic needle with the alcohols. I didn't always, and that's why I got that really bad staining. You can see it more on some than others, and I have a feeling I missed out one. This is a squid I found in live frozen food. I have actually seen fish in, let's see, settle, there we go. So this I found in some mysis frozen food. I've got a second one in the freezer I need to preserve. I also have seen fish in live food before. Going down, these are some African Cameroon fan shrimp. So these are the larger species of sort of fan shrimp you'll see. They get to what, 20 centimetres? And there's quite a few different specimens in there. They don't really do well on transport, it seems, long distance, and from store to shop they're usually store to owner they're usually fine, but yeah, he's not. Here's two different gymnotiforms nightfish. This one I cannot remember the name, but I can look it up at least. This one is, I think this was a myropsis, and this I think was partially through when it went lighter in the dark, when it was dark. This is a clown loach, nothing interesting. It's not even adult, it's not that old, it's probably only a year at push. This is very expensive, not that I paid for it, Brachyplatystoma tigrinum, and for a live specimen I think they're like £200 or more. For this, God knows, but yeah, so this I was given. They don't really do well on transport. That's the problem with them, and I've heard quite a few horror stories. Now this is the jar of darkness. You can't actually see anything in it. Oh my God. All you can see is reflections. This is actually one of my Ancestris ranunculus jars, and because they're my favourite species, I really like preserving them. As in, like, anyone that has any lost, I'll take them in, and that's a little better. You can see that there's something in this jar, but their gut contents is really foul. Yeah, so it's snake shed, and these are Journal of Fish Biology. There's a lot of them, and I don't think they're fitting in my shelves that much anymore. But yeah, so I've taken in quite a few of these. But they're my favourite species, so I'm a bit like, I'm happy to travel and stuff for them. And then if I go round, so this is my shelf of real weird stuff. So this is a pig jaw, fox jaw. Why do I drop stuff? Rat, I think it was, rabbit. I forgot. Rabbit jaw. This is a rabbit skull. It's still got mummified skin on it because I'm not very good at cleaning them, and I don't have all the stuff, and I live in a flat, so I can't exactly put them in someone else's garden to preserve. Down here, these are my goldfish. There's some different varieties in there. This is a sheep vertebrae. This is Quet's shed. This is a shed from a store I used to work at, because I think that looks so much neater than my one, although it's a bit damaged. My snake ruins her sheds, but I don't think hognoses are very good complete ones anyway. This is a jar of sheds. If I go down, African land snail shells. These are Pimlodus pictus. Pteroplectes. This one I'm actually like, a what? Because the markings on the belly are Josemanus. On top, I'm like, yeah, body shape's wrong. But I would say probably Josemanus, just, it is quite a stunted fish. This is a resurrection plant that never goes green. I've got loads of rubbish. And these are Swellia breviventralis. Then I have got a few things on the bottom shelf, beyond all the books and stuff. I don't really like putting too many plants on here when I've got all the books, it's quite heavy. This is Ancistrus. This is Ancistrus Peruvian green spot or whatever. I can't remember their number off the top of my head. If I just let it focus. It's quite a pretty little species and they're usually quite cheap as well. Trillineatus, often missold as Julii. And if I go back up, and then it looks reasonably nice, these shelves. It's these ones that need to be sorted out, and I'm not entirely sure if I want them in this room because that's a lot of alcohol. Not drinkable, it's 70%. I assume people can't drink 70% ethanol, but thinking about it, God knows. But anyway, and yeah, that's water change stuff. So that's just a quick view of my collection. Yeah, so these are just a variety of different things. This definitely, I'm going to top this up in a second because that's worrying me, and I'm probably going to Vaseline the seal just in case. Although I probably want to get it into a different jar. Oh well. Thank you for watching. Anyway, so goodbye.